another part of that is your efforts to try and invigorate the employees, I guess, with a bit of flexibility, the Future Workplace initiative.
Yep.
How is that coming along, and I guess how is that translating from technology change into organizational change?
Sure. So and obviously the technology is just an enabler um, to the organisational change. And so a couple of things we've done have already made a difference. But we've done a really nice thing organisationally, I think, which is the technology kind of started some of the drive, and because we could do some of this, started driving change, and then the change became quite rapid and snowballed. We've actually changed internally. All our a range of our internal HR policies have gone from being like part-time work, home-based work, various things. We've just squashed them all into one policy now, which is called our flexible work policy, which kind of combines them all but simplifies them all, and has changed the default. Where we used to have staff have to make a business case to work flexibly, now we've changed the default to if not, why not, which is basically our default position is all staff should work flexibly, and if they ask to do something, their manager has to actually create a business case to say why they can't. And so that's been quite a tectonic shift for us, I guess, in terms of how we operate and our permissioning. And so, interestingly for us now, that's actually caused a technology pressure, because we're still running our 4-year-old desktops that we put in that are pretty standard desktops, and we're looking to move them to a mobile-first platform. And of course, to do that, we've got to do some things like virtualize applications, virtualize desktop, get some secure mobility into applications we've got now that aren't traditionally that way. And so, it is a challenge. So we do need to. We've got to catch up, which is great for us because we were leading the charge. Now we've got a burning platform to drive us again and get us pressured along.
Burning platform is an interesting choice of words, but probably very apt, I think, for any CIO that's dealing with this sort of thing. And I mean, speaking of burning platforms, security is one of these issues that seems to be getting worse and worse all the time. Obviously, you guys deal with it very extensively. How do you manage to address the security requirements that you have in terms of information management, making sure that the data is protected and controlled when it goes out, or that it doesn't go out, I suppose, unless it has to? How do you address that?
So we have a very good security practice in Treasury, and by necessity, of course, and we resource it well. We classify data appropriately. So our network as a default is a protected government network, which basically sets a bunch of conditions for how we operate and what we do, and it certainly inhibits us in terms of some of the very creative and flexible things you would like to do. Like it limits some BYOD capabilities that we have, and some mobile device choices that we make. They have to be evaluated and approved by the Australian Securities Directorate. And so we have some limitations, but we work really well with them. We understand what they are well, and just put appropriate controls on. We educate our staff. A large portion of what we do is system controls, but equally balanced by staff education and appropriate behaviour and by staff. So, I think we do make a big investment, and we take it really seriously. We kind of use it, I guess, as an enabler to what we do, rather than thinking about it as a blocker to what we do. And that mindset's gone really well for us. ASD have this top 35 cyber intrusion prevention, cyber intrusion mitigation strategies. I think we do about 32 of the 35, which, including the top 4, which are mandatory, which blows people away. That they say, well, you guys have a lot of flexibility and a good approach to mobility, but you still do that. Where I know other agencies that are probably, lucky to do 20 of them, and would struggle to be as flexible as we are. So, I think you can do it. You've just got to take a good approach. We talk to ASD all the time. We've got guys who, I think we talk to them every day about how we're doing things and to get things right and to shape. We not only sit here compliantly and say we do what we need to do. We also go to them and say, here's your advice, here's something practical we're just having some struggles with, and they're pretty flexible too. They'll say, you know what, you could do it this way and still maintain an acceptable level of security, tolerate a reasonable level of risk. And so we look to influence as well.